What's going on, everyone? It's Harry here, and we're back for season 4 of the YCL. In this season, we have got the wheel position, so we split the draft in half. There's 24 players in total, 12 on each side, and I got 12th pick out of 12th. 12, which is fine because each time we pick, we get 2 picks at a time. So a lot of my pairs in this draft are going to be obviously paired up with a bit of synergy. I do think that a bit of strategy comes out of what position you get. So if you get an early position like number 1, I think it's generally good just to get something really good. Usually you'll see those top tier Pokemon getting picked up that can pair up with most things, like Urshifu Single Strike, Celesteela, Zygarde, Mew, things like that. Getting the last pick, I would go with a different strategy, so I think it's just better to look for value. Things that you can pair up and not spend too much points at a time are usually good. Not to say that you can't spend points, but just making sure that every time you are picking, getting a bit of value. So that's kind of the strategy that I went with for this draft. Getting into my first pick, obviously knowing that I'm getting another pick straight after, I did go with Excadrill. This is something that I've never drafted before, but kind of always wanted to. It's obviously a little bit reliant on a sand setter, so picking this up, I was probably more leaning towards Gigalith as a setter, but I was happy to get Tyranitar as well, which is what Sven got last season. It's got really high attack. It's got Sword Dance. It gets Sand Rush and Sand Force. Obviously, Sand Rush is generally the preferred. Nice typing in Ground and Steel. Really good for offense. So generally, a lot of teams are going to struggle with this. It's also really hard to build speeds around weather teams just because of that versatility with, speed boosting going in there. So it's something that I really, really liked, and I'm really happy to get started with Excadrill. Something that I thought paired up really nicely with it and really good value. Like I said, I wasn't trying to get anything top tier. A lot of those were already taken in those first 11 picks. So looking down the list a little bit at value, and I found Moltres, which is another Pokemon that I've never drafted before. You can see its stats there, really nice spread. It's probably one of very few Pokemon that can run physically offensive, special offensive, physically defensive, and specially defensive. It's got a nice speed stat as well. Gets Flame Body, so I've heard it referred to as like the anti-U-turn Pokemon because pivoting being so big, especially in I guess ranked battles and draft, you'll see a lot of pivoting moves. So having something that can absorb U-turns and potentially burn people that want to take advantage of that is really, really nice. But yeah, Moltres just does a lot, and it's just a really cool Pokemon. So something I wanted to try out. And at 80 points, when the top tier was 160, so bang in the middle, I thought it was just too good to pass up. So now that we've got 2 Pokemon, we're waiting 22 picks in between this pick and our next pick. So obviously waiting for it to come back to us. I was asleep when these picks happened, and I wanted Primarina, but for some reason I thought, you know what, I'll leave that for this time and I'll come back to it. Unfortunately, we missed out on it altogether, but that's what I probably should have put in as pick 3 instead. We did end up getting our sand setter. I guess I got a little bit nervous about what if Gigalith and Tyranitar went, which I probably didn't need to worry about. I already had Excadrill, so there was really no need for anyone to pick them, but I did go with Gigalith. At 80 points, I think it's good value. It's quite bulky. as well. 85 HP, 130 defense, and with Sand Stream boosting its special defense, it's quite specially bulky as well. And obviously sets of sand for Excadrill. It's another Stealth Rock setter, probably my main Stealth Rock setter. So pretty happy to pick that up. What we paired with it was Pangoro, another Pokemon just really good value. Pangoro hits really hard. It's got 3 really good abilities in Scrappy, Iron Fist, and Mold Breaker, all of which can really come in handy in draft. That 124 attack is really nice. 58 speed, can take advantage of Trick Room. It's not too bad on the bulky side, but yeah, it just hits really hard. You know, give it a Choice Band, Life Orb, something like that. It's going to hit hard, and you know, not many teams can take you know, Choice Banded close combats with Scrappy. I know last season, you know, my sort of answers to fighting moves were just not up to scratch. So when we came up against Pangoro, we did get unlucky in that game, but you know, even in prep, I know Pangoro is a massive threat, and I've been prepping a bit with Rory, who's drafted it before, and yeah, it's definitely worth the 80 points that I picked it up for. So again, we're waiting 22 turns for our next pick, and we went with Ladios. So Ladios wasn't part of the original plan, but I you know, got to this point, things weren't panning out super well, but I saw Ladios sitting there. I did a bit of working out with what I could afford and what I needed for my team, and Ladios definitely fitted in there, and I think it just started to you know, boost my offense on the special side. I could see my team getting a little bit physical, and it's also got decent special bulk as well, nice typing. It handles hits that Excadrill takes well. It takes fire, fighting, it's immune to ground, so I thought that was really handy. And it's easy to fit Ladios in a team. That 110 speed is just perfect. The amount of Pokemon that fit into that 109 below is obviously the majority of Pokemon, so having an offensive Pokemon that can either run Choice Scarf and definitely outspeed everything, or just outspeed the majority of the opponent's team unboosted is just really nice. And we paired that up with Azumarill. So I drafted this last season and I traded it away because I wanted to get Tapu Lily, but Azumarill was amazing. I think it was my top kill leader before I traded it away, and it's just such a good Pokemon in draft. It doesn't always need to be offensive. It works defensively as well. I think we got like 5 kills with it in one game last season where we didn't have any attack on it, and it was running Sap Sipper, just toxic stalled and you know, chipped away at things, and that works well. It's got the Belly Drum Aquajet set, which kind of forces a little bit of prep on the other team. You know, Choice Band hits really hard. Assault Vest can take a hit and hit hard back, so it's really nice. And yeah, I've used it before, always liked it. It kind of fits in teams really well as well, and it rounds out our Dragon Fairy Steel Core. So you can see there, Ladios, Excadrill, and Azumarill, they can easily fit on my team any number of ways and, you know, do a job for me. So really excited to pick them up. They're 3 Pokemon that I really enjoy using. So yeah, at this point of the draft, I've got my Dragon Fairy Steel Core, and I'm feeling pretty good about what I've got, and I've still got quite a lot of points to spend as well. Pick number 7. So this is our coming into our 4th wheel pick. Scolipede at 100 points, probably a little bit expensive, but it gives us our grounded poison type. Another thing I really wanted to create with this roster was I wanted to make things hard for my opponents to work out their speed. So by having you know, sand, that's one component of that. By having speed boost, that creates another, because it's quite easy for me to run a Choice Scarf and a speed boost set on the same team in a week, which means it makes it really hard for opponents' rosters to handle that with the item clause. It is an item clause league, so if they've got one Choice Scarfer and I'm running Choice Scarf and Scolipede, you know, they might not be able to deal with that very well. So having that was just a plus, and I think it just had a bit of synergy going around with the rest of my team. Obviously I've got Moltres there that can handle flying moves, so I just had it in my head, like, you turning into it, I could probably get it in a lot of really good situations, get off a Sword Dance, get the speed boost, and then just go from there. And it gets a really nice move pool as well. It's got, like, obviously bug and poison coverage, but gets rock, ground, yeah, it's got a really nice offensive move pool, so happy with that. And it also gives me a Toxic Spiker as well, which obviously won't be something I'd run often, but it's there if I need it. My next pick as part of this wheel was Glacion. I just felt like I needed a hard-hitting freeze dry, so this actually has the same damage output as Kyurem's freeze dry, which is pretty cool. Obviously nowhere near as good as Kyurem, but I can see it taking a place on a team once or twice doing that. 65 speed is not great. In level 50 league, like 65 base speed, like, can still run a Choice Scarf and outspeed most unboosted Pokemon. Can also be a Cleric and Wish Passer, which is pretty nice. But this was just good value. It was at 40 points. I just couldn't really go past it. I think there was a couple of other people that were looking at it as well. But just something that, out of all the ice types that I could afford, considering what else I was looking to get, I think this was the best option I could take. My last wheel pick is starting with Porygon II, which I was thrilled to get. I think I got lucky getting this because I think someone wanted it and put their pick in too late or something like that. So I was really happy to get this, and surprised that I got it so late as well. Like, this is pick number 9, which is you know, right near the end of the draft. For something that can still evolve, so it can hold an Eviolite, it is seriously bulky. 85 HP, 90 defense, 95 special defense is really good. And for something that can hold a Eviolite, be bulky, and still have that 105 special attack is really cool, especially when it's boosted by download or analytic. And then you've got trace as well, so tracing things like regenerator, water absorb, things like that are really cool as well, and I can take advantage of that. So really good Pokemon. It's also got Trick Room and Teleport. I think it gets like Block and Toxic as well, so lots of options, and really annoying. Just really annoying Pokemon to deal with, especially being a normal type where it's only got that one weakness. And, you know, even with a knockoff, it still holds a lot of its bulk. So yeah, really happy to get that there. And I paired it up with something that I've seen a lot of other people draft before and have taken notice of it, but you know, it's never quite fitted into my team. I tend to get quite high tiered grass types or terrain setters and things like that. Like, I've drafted Rillaboom and Thwackey quite a lot, but this time went with Galgeist, which gave me my grass and ghost type, which I didn't have. It's also got, you can see the stats on the right there below me. It's got quite a range of stats based on the form that you go with. So I think you can go Galgeist Super, and it's slow but bulky and hits harder. And then you've got Galgeist Small, which is quite fast. So there are options there. It gets Frisk, it gets Poltergeist, so you can figure out your opponent's items, which is really cool in an item clause league. Gets Synthesis, gets Will-O-Wisp, Trick or Treat Shadow Sneak is cool as well. So lots of options there, which I think I can take advantage of. And yeah, and then we've just got the one pick to go, which is the last pick in the draft. Actually, I'm sorry, that rounds out my core as well. So that Grass, Fire, Water core is Galgeist, Moltres, and Azumarill, which are all really good. Obviously, Azumarill and Moltres a bit higher on the tiers, but Galgeist does wonders as well. Like, I can see it fitting into a lot of teams and putting in work. But yeah, I feel like I'm filling a lot of roles, like a lot of things that I like having in draft. I feel like I'm getting. I'm not doubling up on anything in particular. So I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a roster together that's pretty hard to prep for. And then we finished up with the last pick with Raichu. I think at 40 points, it was just really good value. I didn't have an electric type either. Gives me Nuzzle, Knockoff, Volt Switch, and 110 speed is quite nice as well. So I've kind of gone through the speeds throughout my draft really well. I've got those interesting speeds with Sand being an option. I've got Trick Room as an option. I've got Speed Boost as an option. So I think everything kind of worked out quite well. And yeah, that's it for our draft. I'll bring up our season schedule so you can see on the right there. We come up against Sven in week 1, which is coming up, I think it's in 2 days from now, from the time I'm recording this. So I'm a bit nervous for that. The only time I've played against Sven was in the Season 2 final where he swept me with Pikachu. He played really well. He's a really, really good player, so I hope that I can do a lot better in that game. We've got Hollow Kid, who coaches the LA Lucarios after that, who we did beat last season when they came in as a replacement coach. He took that team to playoffs, which, you know, is no small feat. He's a really good coach. I've heard a lot of things about him, and he's a really good player. He did well with what he could last season, but now he's drafted his own roster, and I'm sure he'll do really well. We've got the Portland Timbers after that, the Miami Malamarlins, try and get it out, and then the Timberland Woodhammers after that. So it is only 5 games before playoffs. We make up one of the divisions, which only 3 will go into playoffs. So that's what we're looking for here. Because Sally Mumble's not playing this season, we can actually potentially be the only team that's made the playoffs in all 4 seasons, which is a goal of mine. But yeah, that's our Season 4 roster. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really, really tough season. It's rated a 4-star league on the Draft League NL website, which means it's quite competitive. But yeah, we'll see how we go. I think we've got the roster to do it. We'll just need to prep and play really well. So yeah, wish us luck, and I'll see you back for week 1.